William John O'Meally, born the 25th of November 1920 in Young, New South Wales, was an Australian criminal, notorious as the last man to be flogged in Victoria. Early life. O'Meally was born Joseph Thompson and was the second of 4 children. When he was aged 11, the family moved to Sydney. The marriage of his parents soon dissolved and he became a ward of the state. He left that care when aged 14. O'Meally claimed to be the grandson of Johnny O'Meally, a member of Ben Hall's gang. It is unclear when he changed his name. On his own, he was soon in trouble. He was sentenced to 2 days hard labor for riding on a train without a ticket. In June 1936, he was convicted of assaulting a policeman. As a result, he was classified as uncontrollable and sent to Gosford Reformatory. He escaped but was lost for a week in the mangroves on the Hawkesbury River. As a juvenile, he received a number of convictions for assault, housebreaking and riotous behavior. Prior to 1952, he had 42 convictions, including 5 for assaulting police. Murder of Howell. On the night of the 30th of January 1952, Constable George Howell was working at the Malvern East Police Station. He was unarmed when he left the station on a bicycle to patrol the area around the Crystal Palace Theatre, Caulfield, where there had been a number of thefts from cars. Howell was 21 years old and due to be married on the 26th of February. When Howell arrived at the cinema, he saw a man loitering near the parked cars. When the young constable approached him, the man dropped his torch and a set of car keys and ran. Constable Howell grabbed the man, but the man shook him off and continued to flee. Howell chased the man and caught up with him. The man turned and shot George Howell once in the stomach at point-blank range. Howell died on the 1st of February 1952. O'Meally was charged with the murder. He had been released from prison in May 1951 after serving 6 months for the assault of another policeman. O'Meally claimed to be innocent of the murder. He claimed that the police had conspired to frame him. He said he knew who the murderers were but would not name them. O'Meally claimed that he was at home with his wife in Bonbeach. His wife supported that claim. Coincidentally, Constable Howell had also lived in Bonbeach. O'Meally claimed that, because he and Howell were known to each other, Howell would have identified him before he died. After 10 days of evidence from 41 witnesses, the jury took 4 hours to find O'Meally guilty. He cried as the verdict was delivered, and again denied his guilt. O'Meally was sentenced to hang for the murder of the policeman. This was commuted by the new state Labour government to imprisonment for the full term of his life without any remissions whatsoever and without the benefit of the regulations relating to the remission of sentences, that is, life without parole. In 1955, O'Meally escaped from H Division of Pentridge Prison. He was recaptured the same day in Coburg, not far from the prison. Escape of 1957. In March 1957, O'Meally again escaped from Pentridge, with an accomplice, John Henry Taylor, who was armed with a .38 automatic handgun. He ran through the main gates of the jail. Chief Penal Officer Robert Davis tried to stop them and was shot in the thigh, breaking his femur. O'Meally then took the firearm and engaged in a gun battle with warders. They were recaptured 13 minutes after escaping. On the 31st of October 1957, Mr. Justice Hudson told O'Meally and Taylor, "You are both clearly beyond hope of reform. Simply to sentence you to a further term of imprisonment would be to impose a totally inadequate form of punishment, and would provide no real deterrent against further attacks of a like character." They were sentenced to 10 more years in jail. In O'Mealy's case, this added nothing to his sentence. Both were also sentenced to 12 strokes of the cat-o'-nine tails to be delivered in one session. This would be the first flogging since 1943. The order to flog O'Mealy was appealed to the Supreme Court of Victoria and the High Court of Australia, both of whom upheld the order. The flogging was delivered on the 1st of April 1958. Taylor and O'Mealy were the last men flogged in Victoria. O'Mealy claimed that the flogging opened his ribcage, that he was placed back in his cell with open chest and back wounds, and was not given any medical attention. He said he took 3 months to recover. In June 1965, O'Mealy's wife divorced him on the grounds of his imprisonment. From February 1966, O'Mealy spent 4.5 years breaking rocks. He was moved again when he assaulted a warder and broke the warder's false teeth. He was also placed in solitary confinement for 2 weeks. O'Mealy went on to become Victoria's longest-serving prisoner. He served 27 years before being released on parole on the 5th of July 1979. The state cabinet had accepted a recommendation of the Adult Parole Board. The state governor, Sir Henry Winnaker, ratified the decision. Sir Henry had led the prosecution of O'Mealy at the 1952 murder trial. O'Mealy was last heard of living in Queensland and may have died there in 1995.